to move our lives in a different direction. It's not just about a matter of turning away from sin and turning back to God. We're being called to live very different lives in the world because of the resurrection. Christians, those who believe in the resurrection, should be seen to be entirely different by the way of their life. That's what we're being called to. So we're going to be reflecting over these Easter weeks how we're called to be turned, how we're called to turn around because of the resurrection in our lives. Now, we have a lot of broken people who come here. I don't know about you, but I know I see my own brokenness in my life. And each one of us has, if we spent time with each other, you each have a story to tell, and each one of us carries a little brokenness. Now, maybe the little kids among us are not that broken yet, but wait till the years wear on them. And we kind of know, especially those of us who are in our 50s, sorry, that, life gets a little bit harder and we're going to get broken down over time. But the good news is that's when we let God in. That's when we know that God's mercy is needed in our life. Sometimes when we're young, we think we can do it on our own. The older we get, the more broken we get, the more we realize we can't do it on our own. And that's good news. Now, we got 3 examples of people who were broken. And because they allowed God, they allowed Christ into their lives, they were healed so that they could heal other people. We have Peter. We know how Peter was broken. Peter was broken because of his lack of courage. And yet, Jesus healed him. Peter, do you love me? Yes, Lord, I love you. Feed my sheep. Peter, do you love me? Yes, Lord, I love you. Tend my lambs. Peter, do you love me? Yes, Lord, you know all things. You know that I love you. Feed my lambs. Peter was broken, and yet the Lord healed him by giving him the apostolic work of the church. When sometimes, and he might have thought that, oh my goodness, I don't know if I can take this on. But healed people are instruments of healing to other people. Broken people who are hurt people, hurt other people. I'm going to give you an example of something very, very practical in this community. Sometimes people who come into Mass are so broken that they see the Mass as just about what they're coming to receive. They don't see their brothers and sisters around them. They don't see their particular needs. And so in their brokenness, they're coming here to get something, right? And so all of a sudden, we have a parent with lots of kids next door, and she and he are trying to do the best they can, and all of a sudden, you get upset because there's noise around you, and you should be quiet in church. And all of a sudden, you're going to let them know what's going on. So you turn around and give them the look. That look did not come from God. It came from the other one. Hurt people hurt other people. See, sometimes people don't realize when they do that out of their own hurt, out of their own need, is that person all of a sudden thinks, I don't have a place, I'm not welcome in this community. Myself and my children, my family are not welcome. Hurt people hurt other people. Peter was hurt and healed, and he was healed by apostolic ministry. When we look and see each opportunity to interact with our brothers and sisters, every time we come to Mass, every time we go other places, every time that we're known to be Catholics and we're known to be Christians, and we can reach out and heal another person, that gives credibility to the faith and also allows that healed person to heal somebody else. John, How was John hurt? Remember John and James, they were named the sons of thunder. They did not have shy and retiring personalities. Okay? Sons of thunder, they probably had some anger. We know they had ambition. And they were kind of eaten up by ambition. Remember, just after Jesus had predicted his passion and death, what did they say? Give us a place at your right and your left when you come into power. But Jesus healed John because John stayed close to Jesus' heart. John stayed close at the Last Supper. John stayed close at the cross. So John was the first one to come to believe when he had that road race with Peter on Easter morning. When he saw and believed, he was able to see because the contemplative aspect of the church healed him. He was able, by seeing Jesus heart to heart, he was allowed that experience of prayer to bring him to faith. Now, we don't just, as church, we don't just do stuff, okay? Although it's important to do stuff. It's important to take care of the poor. It's important to take care of those who are sick and in prison. But if we do it without prayer, it becomes social work. And it doesn't really feed us. We need the contemplative side of the church. We need the prayerful side of the church also to heal us. But there's another one. There's another figure in the readings today, Thomas. And Thomas was hurt by his doubts. And there's so many people who come to communion, to the church, who come on a Sunday by Sunday basis or come into confession, and they say, Father, I don't know if I believe. I'm really struggling. And they say, I might believe some things of the church teaches, but I don't know if I understand and believe all the churches, what churches teaches. And that's because we're trying to come to God on our own terms, like Thomas. Unless I see the nail marks in his hands, unless I put my hand into his side, I will not believe. We want to take God on our own terms. But Jesus healed Thomas. He healed him with his faith seeking understanding, which is the theological mission of the church. We may have doubts, but we're also can be healed of those doubts by entering into a deep study of the faith. And so Thomas is in the tradition of St. Augustine and St. Thomas Aquinas and St. Bonaventure and St. John Paul the Great and Pope Benedict and all these great theologians that we have. But we don't just come to faith. We're not just healed by reading, because then faith can become a head trip. It also has to be fed by prayer and by service. We need all three if we're going to be healed. So this is my challenge to you on this last day of the octave. Where are you hurt? Where are your doubts? Where do we in our brokenness need to be healed? And allow the resurrection in the apostolic work of the church. Join it. Do something. In the prayer of the church, in the contemplation, the contemplative side of the church, in the study of the faith, in knowing our faith at a deeper and deeper level through the theological mission of the church. Allow the Lord to heal you so that you can be those healed who heal other people. Hurt people hurt other people, and we don't need anybody else hurt. We need a church of those who've allowed the healing of the resurrection to turn them 180 degrees so that they might always be vehicles of healing of others in the resurrection of our Lord Jesus Christ.